Top 5 UFC Fighters by Net Worth. UFC is perhaps one of the biggest money-making machines when it comes to combat sports in all of the world. While there has been a speculation and worries over the paycheck of the fighters in the UFC, but still some fighters make almost more than most of the division does collectively. Here on MMA-INSIDE, we bring it to you, top 5 UFC fighters with the most net worth in all of the UFC. Before we go on with the video, don't forget to subscribe or you will never be rich or a good fighter. UFC is the biggest combat sports organization, with the president Dana White having a net worth of more than $500 million. But if this is the net worth of the president, then what is the worth of the fighters that put the blood and shed to make the organization what it is? If you're an MMA fan, have you ever wondered how much your favorite fighters make and who is on the list of the richest? So here, we bring it to you, the top 5 fighters that made the most money out of the UFC. While the names on this list would be those that you might have heard plenty of times already. So here we go. On number 5 comes the infamous BJ Penn, which is deservedly one of the fighters that deserves every penny of the money he makes. BJ Penn was the first non-Brazilian winner of the World Jiu-Jitsu Championship, taking the black belt division in 2000. He is only the second of the 7 fighters that managed to clinch 2 division titles. He was also hailed by Dana White when he achieved this feat in the octagon.
BJ Penn was born to fight, man. That's what that kid was put on this earth to do. If you think you can whoop his ass, he'll fight you in 2 seconds.
And was the pioneer who brought the spotlight to the lower divisions. BJ Penn sits on the 5th position when it comes to making the most money out of the organization, with an estimated net worth of $22 million. Most of his wealth is from fight pay during his 8-year UFC run.
You've ever seen inside the octagon. BJ looking for the choke. He's got the choke. He's done it. It's over. We have a new welterweight champion.
But he also had endorsement deals with Reebok and Last Shot, and runs his own gym and an MMA media distribution website. Number 4, Brock Lesnar. Whether fans know him from UFC or WWE, Brock Lesnar has clearly made a fortune from his fight power, to his ultimate giant but flashy personalities, which is perhaps the best a human being can have. Everyone is just surprised from the fact that even after starting the UFC career at such a later age, he managed to clinch the title of the heavyweight division. Although he has a record of 5-3 in the UFC division, but numbers doesn't speak everything that Brock did in the octagon. If only he would have started earlier, could made him one of the best fighters in the heavyweight division fighters ever. But it isn't shy from the fact that he is already the richest fighter in the heavyweight division with an estimated net worth of $25 million. While it's not all of the paycheck that he might have got from the UFC, but also the amount that he received from the UFC organization during his time in UFC. Whether you like him or not, he is still the most popular UFC heavyweight in the world. Number 3, GSP, George St. Pierre. Undeniably amongst the top 2 fighters of the UFC that has ever stepped into octagon, Rush was the fighter that has always been amongst the elites, with only 2 lost on his profile, which he later took vengeance of. It sums up how perfect GSP's career has always been.
Unbelievable shot.
Undeniably the best welterweight in the UFC. One of the noticeable accolades to his name was GSP becoming a multi-divisional champion, only the 4th at his time in UFC. The Canadian fighter has been inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and UFC president Dana White once said the fighter earned close to $5 million at UFC 158. He has had endorsement deals with big brands like Coca-Cola and Under Armour. He retired from the UFC in 2013, but reappeared in 2017 to claim the middleweight championship. But he certainly always deserved where he stands right now, making GSP not only one of the GOATs of UFC, but also outside the octagon as amongst the richest UFC fighters. Number 2, Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's hard to believe that this same guy who took the fight from the Dagestani mountains became amongst the greatest fighters that the UFC has ever seen, with no loss to his name, not even a close fight that you can argue could have broken the streak of the Eagle. Nonetheless, it's also hard to imagine how Khabib started his career. According to reports, he started off earning just $32,000 per appearance, but as his reputation and wins grew, his purse increased. After beating Conor McGregor back in 2018,
there's the tap, still undisputed. Khabib Nurmagomedov has finished Conor McGregor tonight.
Nurmagomedov took home $1.5 million, and the fighter has scored endorsement deals with Reebok and Toyota. It is notable that he also owns Eagles MMA and gets paid to teach masterclasses and lectures. Khabib is estimated to have a net worth of $40 million, and is quite explainable since Khabib was the only true untouchable and undefeated fighter that UFC has ever seen. Number 1. Conor McGregor. Conor holds the number 1 spot in Forbes' recently published list of the best paid athletes of the year, which later revealed how McGregor made $180 million over a 12-month period.
10 seconds. Oh, he's hurt. Could he finish him here? Conor McGregor is a UFC interim featherweight champion.
Although his UFC earnings contributed just $22 million, it was his business deals that brought him the most cash. And let's not forget, the biggest chunk contributor to his net worth, the whiskey brand, Proper No. 12, which brought him a whopping $158 million. And why not? When you are the most marketable athlete of combat sports, perhaps of all time. So here it ends, the list of 5 fighters that made the most out of the UFC octagon. Comment down below your favorite UFC fighter. And hey, subscribe or GSP will smash you. And I'll see you in the next video.